Hey, I'm Jessica Myers, and I also go by the Deal Maker. But more importantly than the Deal Maker, I help people get into better deals. I believe that you are one deal away from changing your life. And one deal that changed my life was getting into commercial real estate back in 2021, where my partner and I made headlines for being some of the youngest individuals to close on a multi-million dollar Hilton hotel. How did we do so? Not that I can teach you everything that we did in this one video that we have, but I can show you the techniques that I use to put together deals from all over the globe. And that's one of the things that I do as a deal maker. I show people how to break down these long, drawn out steps that we think is so hard, simplify them so that you can execute with ease. You want to jump into it? Here we go. I actually had someone reach out to me, and I'm not going to tell the name, but I'm going to read their story. My husband and I are essentially starting over at the age of 45. We sold our home back in 2019, and we're currently renting. Instead of purchasing a single family home this time around, we would like to build a modern multifamily home. We currently live and would like to build here. Our goal is to purchase and build additional properties, developments in the future. I currently work full time while my husband works part time and runs our event space. So, one of the questions that I asked to help clarify your vision is what's holding you back from building generational wealth via real estate, or what are the hurdles that you're running into? What seems to be your biggest challenges? Now, what they said is their current challenge is that they are reestablishing personal credit and continuing to make some sound decisions towards their goals. And what they are also is in need of is a mentor to guide us through this goal, because we've never been this close to anyone who's actually done it. So for one, here I am. I'm based here in Atlanta, Georgia. I am a real estate developer and entrepreneur. And while I do not know everything, the $30 million of real estate that I've been able to transact over the last 8 years have taught me a lot of how to help people build their portfolio beyond 7 figures and help to get them out of this hole. Now, do I know all of the answers? No. But I'm going to tell you what I do know and how you can get the help. Now, what would I advise someone in his position to do? For one, put your oxygen mask on first. But I'm a huge believer, just like Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, in allowing your assets to pay for your liabilities. Allowing your assets to pay for your liabilities. Now, what does that look like? Now, he said that he wanted to get his personal home first. He wanted to get his personal home first. Now, is your personal home an asset or is it a liability? Most times, what defined as a liability are things that cost you where money goes out. Assets are dividends or monies come back in. So you want to focus on coming back in first. Coming back in first. So it's okay if your first home is a multifamily. Why? Because some of the income not only counts as income in your W-2 when the landlords and things are your mortgage companies start asking for proof of income. The income that you're going to make from the property counts as well. That's one of the interesting parts that you'd be surprised to know about multifamily is that the income that you stand to make can come from the property and your projected income. So a lot of times, if you only make $50,000 a year and your property is set to make $20,000 for the year from the multiple doors, then technically you can make $70,000, and that can count towards your income, which will help lower down your debt to income ratio. So that's actually a smart move. If you are making a move that way, then yes, go ahead, purchase your personal home first, because you have multiple doors that will help pay for your personal home. But if you have the option, go ahead and buy your rental property first. Buy a rental property first, because then your rental property is going to get you used to what it's like owning a home, other things that you may have to go through, and you can try it out while someone else is paying for it versus that being your only home. Now, let's say you don't want to get involved in real estate or investing or managing it. There are property management companies that can come help your day to day. Like with our hotel, we have an operator that handles the day to day. Like if a maid didn't come into work today, they're not calling me to figure out who we can get to cover their shift. So you have operators that come in and help manage your property. Or in this space, you have property managers that come in and help to manage the asset. They manage the day-to-day to make sure everything flows. Now, you want to make sure that they are actually going to the property. I have a friend of mine, she was like, Her property manager, when she started working with her, she only had 20 doors. But by the time like 2 years in, she grown to over 70 doors, which was amazing for the growth. But it sucked for her personal unit because apparently she wasn't going around checking all of the units. So by the time she came back, she had leaks in the roof. She had broken glass that was in, some of the things were broke. And it was just like, wow, like the customer experience is no longer the same. So even with your property manager, you still want to go check on the asset every once in a while. You don't want to just turn a blind eye. Yes, you have an easier life when you have like you can and like you will. So you want to make sure that you are at least present at least once a quarter or once every so often to check in to make sure that your asset is being taken care of and managed, because people will not be on your property. But you want to remember my 3-part formula that I have too: the capital to execute, the skill set and the know-how, and the opportunity itself. Now, when he mentioned that they were looking to buy their home, what they were asking about opportunity. They were asking, how do we clarify the opportunity? Should it be my personal home? Should it be a rental home? So that's what we want to iron out. Where is the opportunity lie personally? Where does the opportunity lie as an investor? And then now, what skill set do you have to turn that? So understanding about multifamily, the trick that I just told you where some of the multifamily income can actually add to your income, which can help and benefit your DTI. So you still need to go to your lender, your hard money lender, your equity group, or whoever you get your funds from, and understand the capital itself. Once you outlay the opportunity and where it lies, whether it's your personal home, whether it's multifamily personal home, or whether it's your first multifamily, you still want to iron out what the opportunity is, identify the skill set and the know-how that you need to execute. So when you go to do that deal, there are going to be things that they're going to ask you. Does the property need work? So that's how you know who to bring in. If the property you're going after needs work, if it does not need work, what do you do next? Is it move-in ready? That's where you get an inspector. That's where you get other people to come in with expertise that you don't have. Even if you need to know, is this the right move that I need to make? Is this the right thing that I need to be a part of? Those sorts of questions, having a mentor around and access to a mentor or someone that's much smarter than you, which I'm sure you got somebody helping you out in the process, whether it's a realtor, whether it is, a banker, whoever it is that's helping you out in the process, trust their expertise. Understand what other experts that you need to bring into the deal to make it happen. For example, when I got into the commercial real estate space, I'd never been in commercial real estate prior to that time. But you know what? The people that I partnered with have been in it for 15 plus years. That was a benefit. I didn't have to go study 15 years just to get involved in the commercial real estate space. I partnered with the people that had the knowledge that I didn't so that I can move forward with confidence. It's almost like if you're in school and you're in 9th grade and they're asking you all of these trick questions, right? But if you have your teacher right here who knows trig, who's been to college for trig, you feel a lot more confident that I may not know the answer, but I know that my teacher right here does. So that is the same thing. A lot of times you want to identify what team that you can be a part of. Before I got involved in real estate investing, I was going to at least 4 networking events a week. 4 networking events a week. And yes, I had 2 full-time jobs. Don't tell my first job that because I don't think they knew. But I had 2 full-time jobs that I was working on, and I was able to make 4 networking events a week. So when people come to me and they're just like, oh my God, I'm so busy. I got this going on. I got that going on. I just feel like, okay, you ain't ready yet. It ain't hit you yet. It ain't hard enough yet. Because it was hard enough for me when I knew that I couldn't go back to work. When I knew that there was, my days were limited at my job where I had to go find somewhere else to work. Where I knew it was do or die, where I had to make this work. Yes, the first property I got into almost lost my shirt and I lost $11,000 on the first deal. But thankfully I had a support system and I was able to keep moving. It hurt. It was a lot of sacrifice. I had to get my nails off, my lashes off. All of that stuff came off because I had to sacrifice. But I knew I wanted something bigger. I wanted something greater. You would not have read the headlines about what we were able to do and what we were able to acquire if I did not keep going. So it was very hard going through my loss when I first got into real estate investing. But I had to keep going and I had to get a team around me through the networking that I was able to do. Now we host our own networking events, the Launch Your Learning Circle here in Atlanta. And I'm starting to create more community online for people to connect. Because people have been asking me, and they're like, hey, we want to get involved. We want to do real estate. How do we stay tapped in? So I am working on ways that you can tap in more through our Deal MKR Academy that I am building out. But more importantly, I want you to know that you can head over to my website and you can ask me questions so that I can address the issues and maybe where you would get started. Like I said, I am not a financial advisor, but I am here to show you my story and how transacting $30 million worth of real estate has landed me all of these different things that we're working on. So, as always, you know, you got it. Let's get it. Let's go.